obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call the Twilight Zone.
I've been really trying, baby.
You choose me? Happy Valentine's.
Oops, almost forgot. Happy Valentine's Day, George.
Ah!
Each pupil will bring the Valentines that he wants to give, and we'll drop them in this box.
Just making a Valentine for Ruth McDougal? Do they have to be store-bought, or can they be homemade?
Boy, here's my chance to get a Valentine.
Love is in the air, in the Twilight Zone.
What is up, Nomies? Happy early Valentine's Day. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
This week, for our second annual Valentine's Day episode, what episode are we going to be discussing?
This week we have Passage on the Lady Anne for our special Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah, Season 4, Episode 17. Original air date, May 9th, 1963. This was written by Charles Beaumont and directed by Lamont Johnson, who did 8 Twilight Zones, and we only have a couple left of his. I think we only have one more left of his. No, 2 more.
Oh,
you ready for
let's
him?
hear 'em.
The Shelter, 5 characters in search of an exit, Nothing in the Dark, One More Pallbearer, Kick the Can, 4 O'Clock, Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, and Passage on the Lady Anne.
It's weird because I like so many, and then I
He's
heard
got 2
4
crapper
o'clock, and I'm
ones.
like, ugh.
Yeah, he's got 4 O'Clock and, which other one in there? Well, The Shelter. Actually, I guess 4 O'Clock's really his only bad one.
Yeah.
And One More Pallbearer.
Yeah, that one's, I'd say, lower mid. Wasn't absolutely terrible, but...
Right. How you been? Or should I be saying konnichiwa? Tyler just got back from Japan. He was on. We were on a hiatus for 2 weeks, so you've been listening to pre-recorded ones, but we are now actually back
I'm
in
not
the present.
supposed to know that.
But was it good?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, yeah.
You went on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror in Japan.
I went on the Tower of Terror in Japan. It's not the Twilight Zone because in Japan they aren't like they don't really know the show there, never like played there. So yeah, it's not really themed to the Twilight Zone there. But interestingly enough, when I was in line, they do play the Twilight Zone Tower. They play the Twilight Zone music while you're waiting in the queue, which is weird because nothing else is associated with the show. So
That was where we kind of had like a Pulp Fiction thing going on for a second. Like they wouldn't know what the hell a quarter pound was. What do they call a Whopper? I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King.
Royale with cheese.
All right, well, we'll get right into it. Ty, what was your favorite moment of this episode?
I didn't have a favorite moment. Instead, I had 3 favorite lines. There were quite a few funny lines that made me laugh. The first of which was, "Looks like we're in time for the orgy."
That's a good one.
I also liked the line, "I feel sticky."
I have that one written down, too.
And my last favorite line, "You won't have to die after all."
Oh, good. My favorite moment was Cecil Calloway. He played Burgess in this. His monologue talking about, we need to take our time. I really felt that.
Yeah.
I loved that monologue. I'll play that later on in the episode. But.
Yeah, definitely a good summation of what's at the heart of this episode.
We have the technology to rebuild it.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episodes we are watching, and each week it seems like ChatGPT keeps getting worse and worse. It started to think that Anne was a character, which I guess technically Anne is, but it thought... Anyway, I had to prompt it like 3 fucking times to do this, but this one is okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Picture, if you will, a graceful ocean liner named the Lady Anne. Not a woman, not a temptress, but a floating monument to old money, old values, and an era that refuses to go quietly into dry dock. Our story tonight, Passage on the Lady Anne, is not about gold diggers, spoiled lovers, or champagne-fueled romance, though there is champagne, and it is very expensive. At the center of this voyage is Eileen, a woman caught between comfort and conscience, between the warm familiarity of privilege and the unsettling notion that maybe, just maybe, progress doesn't always mean improvement. This is a Valentine's Day tale the Twilight Zone way. Less about romance and more about loyalty, memory, and whether love is something you trade up or something you hold onto even when the world tells you it's outdated. So welcome aboard the Lady Anne, where the past still wears a dinner jacket, the future is tapping its watch impatiently, and the real passage is not across the ocean but straight into the Twilight Zone.
I mean, that mostly got the vibes right.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda. C+.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I have 3.
I have 5.
All right, go for it. Mine are very front-loaded.
Mine were starting to be, and I was like, I'm just going to keep making more just in case. What 2 locations are advertised behind the travel agent's desk?
Dang it, that's one of mine. I said 2 out of all of them. I think I can go all of them. I think there was 5 that shows.
Oh, but what were the 2 behind his desk?
The 2 behind his desk, that one was the Orient and... Fuck, I remember all of them except Orient and something.
So what is your guess what's behind the main...
Behind the main guy there is... That one's the Orient and the one I can't remember.
No, it's Rome and Egypt.
Damn it. What the hell is the other one then? What do I have here? Switzerland, the Orient, Egypt, Rome, and India.
Ah.
Those were the ones that were up on the wall.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
All right. On what day does the Lady Anne leave?
Like what day of the week?
Yes.
A Thursday?
On Thursday we leave for England.
Thursday we leave for the Lady Anne. How long have the Ransoms been married?
6 years.
Correct.
What room number is the Ransoms?
One of mine, 24.
Yes.
Where do they first get drinks with the older Mackenzie couple?
Where do they get it?
Yeah. What's the name of the lounge they go to?
I don't know.
The Imperial Lounge.
I just kept referring to it as like the ballroom/bar.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, we'll jump.
Oh, I had one more.
Oh, you got another one?
Yeah.
I only had 3, and you stole one of mine.
All right. And my last one. When's the last time the ship had a new passenger?
42.
48.
Damn it. All right. Well, we'll jump right into the plot of this one. Buckle up. It's a season 4, so it's a little lengthy, but we'll try to sail through this one kind of smooth here.
It's long and it's girthy.
We open on a couple walking into a travel agency. The husband looks to be in a hurry. He asks, I thought we had an appointment. His wife's like, why don't you just go up there and tell him that you're head of McCain? That will... Enterprises, that'll fucking shut him up or whatever. And he's like, okay, whatever. And decides to sit down, which I thought was pretty funny. My time is more valuable.
Well, no, she was saying, like, go up there and let him know that you're keeping the head of McCain Clellons or whatever waiting. Like, he's apparently like a sales guy who's trying to make a sales deal with some big company.
I think she was being more facetious with like, oh, go tell him how much of a big shot. Like, it's not going to fucking work. Just sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
But
could have worked.
The wife says, do you just want to forget this whole thing? And he's like, no, I just want to get this over with. He lights up a butt. She asks for one. He gives her the one that he was already smoking, and then the travel agent comes over, and you notice it's the guy from A Good Life. You think about me, Anthony.
There are so many characters in this that have been in other episodes, because we have, like you said, the travel agent here. We have 3 old people later on the boat, which are pretty prominent in other episodes. And then the main character here, Alan, is also in another one, I believe. He looks very familiar. I think he was... I think he's been in some... I think just one other episode.
One more. The travel agent asks, where do you guys want to go? And they're like, we're going to London. The husband says we're in a rush here, which is kind of cool because it plays into later on when Cecil Calloway does his monologue about people rushing, which obviously he's supposed to represent the modern man always in a hurry, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty truthful in general. Like, as time goes by, people kind of, their lives kind of become faster. Like, older generations tended to move slower.
The wife says that she used to be a stewardess, so she's not afraid. She just really wants to go on a boat. The travel agent says, as you wish. And he's like, here are the names of the ones we got, and I'll play a little bit of this.
Freighter, but I understand the accommodations are quite adequate.
Oh, excuse me. What about this one? The Lady Anne.
Oh, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, it's very nearly the oldest boat in the water, and it's certainly the slowest. 13 days to La Havre, another half day to Southampton, if there are favorable winds.
Well, forget it.
No, no, wait a minute. It leaves on Thursday. That's less than a week.
First time I watched this, I was under the assumption that Alan was afraid of flying because the travel agent kind of makes the assumption that it's the wife that's afraid of flying, and that's why she's so insistent on taking the boat. And then she's like, no, I was a stewardess. I'm not afraid of flying at all. That's not the thing. So I thought they were trying to imply that it's the husband that's afraid of flying, and so they're taking this boat ride for his sake.
The wife says, give us 2 tickets on the Lady Anne. A few extra days won't matter, will they? And the husband sarcastically agrees, and then Rod takes us in.
Portrait of a honeymoon couple getting ready for a journey. With a difference. These newlyweds have been married for 6 years, and they're not taking this honeymoon to start their life, but rather to save it. Or so Eileen Ransom thinks. She doesn't know why she insisted on a ship for this voyage, except that it'd give them some time. And she'd never been on one before. Certainly never one like the Lady Anne. The tickets read New York to Southampton, but this old liner is going somewhere else. Its destination, the Twilight Zone.
Next shot, passengers are getting on the boat. I love the aesthetic of every time they're outside the boat, the fog and everything.
Yeah, they definitely do a lot of cool fog, especially at the very end too when they're getting into their life raft. There's like a ton of fog in that scene.
The wife's very excited. She runs up to her husband saying, "Oh, it's beautiful." And then an old man kind of overhears them and says, "What, are you seeing someone off?" And
like, no, we're actually passengers here. And the guy's like, "No, you can't be. It's impossible for you to be here. Let me see your tickets."
There must be some mistake.
Very audacious of this man to just insist on seeing a stranger's ticket. Like, he doesn't run this boat.
Right. The old man looks over him with his wife and he's like, "There you actually are. Legit." They seem in shock. He does insist, though. He's like, "I'm telling you, though, there is a mistake. This is a private excursion, a terrible mistake." And him and his wife go on the boat.
And then they meet a, what would you call him, like the welcome party guy? He's not the captain, but...
Yeah, I think he typically would, check you in or something like that.
Yeah, because then Alan's like, "What, do you want to see our tickets too?" And he's like, no, that name's fine, sir. You have a room.
Stateroom 24, go
you
down
think
the hall.
He'd be the only person that does need to check their tickets.
Right. And then that other old couple from earlier comes up to the officer there, and he's like, "Why didn't you do anything?" And he's like, "What am I supposed to do? They had tickets." The Ransoms go to their suite. Very beautiful looking room.
They call it ridiculous, which I don't get. Like, maybe just so ridiculously ostentatious, like just so gaudy.
Maybe
with.
Did you like the Bon Voyage flower thing too? Like kind of like a hey, we're leaving.
What I liked a lot about their room was later on we see that the sink has pour the water in.
That's a very old sink, yes.
I just thought that was so cool.
You didn't like how their bed was a boat?
I thought that was a little too on the nose there.
Eileen is very excited about how beautiful the room is. Husband doesn't really seem to give a crap. The whistle blows, and she's like, "Come on, let's go up to the deck. That's what people do. They wave." Next shot, they're going up to the deck. The old man from before and another familiar face, the old man from Elegy, are talking. And they're like, "There's got to be a mistake. That's the couple you were talking about, isn't it? They don't belong here." They go and ask the couple, "This is a private party, right?" Which, at this point, I would feel so uncomfortable. Like, dude, I gotta get the fuck off this boat. Like, no one wants me here. This is really weird.
Yeah, they're definitely trying really hard to dissuade the Ransoms from being there. But I would kind of take 50-50. One, I would feel uncomfortable, but two, I'd feel so uncomfortable to fuck you. I'm just gonna stay just despite you.
You're
pissing me off so much. I don't want to be here just to piss you off.
The two old men are like, "There's certain things about this boat that you don't know. Look, it's falling apart. It's old. It's rusty."
And they're like, "We know it's old." And then the two older guys are like, "Okay, we're gonna pay you way more than your ticket's worth just to get off this boat." They offer them $10,000, which I looked up is equivalent to $106,000 today. If someone gave me $106,000 to not get on board a boat,
and you already feel uncomfortable anyway, but okay,
yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take that."
Now what's that for? I'm prepared to pay you double the amount of your tickets if you'll abandon your plans.
Not a chance.
All right, then I'll triple the amount.
No.
Mrs. Ransom, you're driving me to extremes. However, if you leave the Lady Anne now, I'll give you the equivalent of 5,000 American dollars.
And I'll match that.
Making it a total of 10,000.
I wonder if that check would have bounced because they end up presumably dying, ?
Yeah, but I mean, he probably had an
good?
estate or something like that, and he was like, they would vanish, so people probably wouldn't know where they were for a month or two.
Yeah.
The husband's like, "Sorry, but no fucking deal." He's like, "You guys are afraid that the Americans are gonna ruin your little tea party. And then they continue to walk up the deck. Alan's like, we're off to a great start, huh? They start to leave the port, and the two old men are down below, and they're like, well, we tried. And he's like, well, we should have tried harder. We should have kicked them off. And then we go to commercial. Next shot, the wife wakes up in bed, alone, wondering where Alan is, but he's looking out the window, kind of tapping his watch, very eager to get out of here. She's like, what are you doing up so early? He's like, it's almost 11.
You can definitely tell that Alan's the kind of guy where he constantly needs to be busy and doing something. Like, he has that very go, go, go mentality that the boat kind of needs to teach him as the episode kind of goes on here.
Yep. And Eileen's like, come on, don't let those two old cranky men spoil our honeymoon.
And then he's like, just two old cranky men?
And then he's like, all right, get dressed. We got the fire drill in 15 minutes. Next shot, the couples are going up to the deck to join the fire drill procedure, and Eileen notices for the first time, everyone on the ship is old as shit.
Yeah, Alan says, there's not a person here under the age of 75, I checked.
Right. She's like, well, maybe it's just first class. And he's like, it's only first class here.
What type of boat has only first class? If everyone's first class, then there's no class at all.
Obviously, only first class passengers are going on this adventure. Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, I really want to go back to Ireland and fucking die. Oh, shit, we're on the fucking death boat.
No, but I mean, like,
It's obviously a private party, so that's only the first class is open. I'm sure there are...
Oh, so there's other rooms that are just vacant? Oh, I feel like they wouldn't drive the boat if there was not enough.
They're going on a suicide mission. They're not trying to fucking fill it up.
No. So the company running the boat still wants to make money off it. It's just that the captain
they're all running it into the ground. They don't give a fuck. They're all dying.
No. Okay, they're complaining. The whole complaint is about the company that owns the boat. That actual company would be the one running the boat and like making sure it has certain voyages and stuff like that. It's just that the captain and all the guests decided to mutiny and take the boat and kind of crash it. There's still a company, like an overarching company, that still wants it to be financially viable, and so you'd think they'd want to kind of book up the boat.
I'm sure all the old people kind of got together and didn't expect even one couple to get onto it, but
true.
The officers go over the fire drill procedure. Next shot, the couple are walking into the dining room. It's a very nice, like, leisure hall / bar thing.
And that's when we get one of my favorite lines of the episode.
Looks like we're in time for the orgy. Shh.
It is odd to hear that in the Twilight Zone.
It totally took me back when I first heard that. I was like, wow, I cannot believe they were allowed to say that on air back in the 1960s.
Alan's like, this is a floating rest home. He asks the bartender for a couple of double martinis, extra dry. Eileen asks for another cigarette and apologizes, and she's like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I really mean it. I am sorry. He's like, but we didn't want to meet anyone anyway, so... And then Alan's like, stop saying we. He's like, this was up to you. If it was up to me, we'd be in London right now. And Eileen's just like, yeah, and you'd be doing business stuff. And then they get into this really big fight. And you kind of feel the tension. Like, I feel like every couple has kind of been in this fight and gotten to this situation where she's kind of had a little too much. And she's starting, well, I don't give a fuck if anyone here. It's like, shut the fuck up.
See, I'm kind of on Eileen's side on this one because from the sounds of it, like,
this guy's definitely a prick, but...
Yeah, but it sounds like he works a lot, and so she intentionally picked a sort of holiday where he would be forced to spend time with her. Because to her point, like, if they had just flown straight to London, he probably would have gone to try to work, because he does seem like that kind of busybody, needs to be working constantly, and he can't just sort of relax and have a good time. So the whole thing that she kind of lays out here is like, the whole reason I booked this whole cruise is so that we can relax and spend time with each other instead of us being apart where we haven't really seen each other in 6 years.
Right. And at the end of the fight, Eileen's like, fine, whatever, don't worry about it. Once we dock, I'll be out of here forever. Is that what you want? And he's like, sounds good to me. And then he puts some money down on the bar and leaves. Gladys Cooper tries to kind of like say something to him, but her husband Toby's like, nah, don't fucking say anything.
Stay out of other people's business.
Next shot, the Ransoms are on the deck. I guess they kind of made up, as most couples do.
Do you think they were on the poop deck?
Man, probably. The old couple comes out. What are they?
The Mackenzies.
The Mackenzies come out, and they were like, we're wondering if you guys would join us for a cup of tea. Alan obviously is like, no, fucking thank you, pal, which normal people probably would. But Eileen's just like, you know what? Yeah, we will. And he's like, what the fuck did you do that for?
Be like, well, if we're not going to be talking to each other, might as well talk with other people.
That Alan kind of looks like a young Stanley Kubrick. I have written down there. He kind of looks like him.
I don't know what he looked like when he was young, so I've always
in the profile it looked a lot like them.
I always knew that Stanley Kubrick had a beard, so it's hard not picturing Alan with a beard. I don't know. Or picturing Stanley Kubrick beardless.
Yeah, in his first couple movies, like in the 50s and like 2001 A Space Odyssey, he was beardless.
Oh.
Yeah, so the next shot, they're going to the ballroom/bar, and the elderly couple's just like, we owe you an apology. We've been kind of rude and standoffish. She's like, but I've been talking to everyone else, and we've come to the conclusion that you won't have to leave after all. And Alan's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to have to swim back. And you're like, yeah, of course not. We're just very interested in why you would want to come on the Lady Anne.
The whole thing so far is very ominous.
And then Gladys Cooper says the most ominous of lines.
Well, no need to fuss about it, is there? Because everything's settled now.
Now, what's all settled?
What my husband is trying to say is that you won't have to die after all.
That would be really creepy if someone said that to you.
Very. I mean, they've already had a bunch of creepy things, like them insisting that they've gotten on the wrong boat, and then them insisting that they want to pay for their tickets so that they'll leave, and it's just very unwelcoming. And then you get the line, and you won't have to die after all. Like, okay, I feel like we've walked into a cult here.
Eileen says, what did you say? And Gladys is like, I told you you're not going to have to die after all. And the old man, of boredom.
Die of boredom, yes, of course.
He's like, please forgive us. We haven't been very good company. The old man goes on to tell them that they spent many, many hours and years on this vessel. And he's like, and when we heard that they were going to retire it, we decided we need to go on this final trip with it. And he's like, that's why so many of these old people are here. Eileen says, oh, I understand. And Gladys Cooper's like, I still don't think they understand. Gladys Cooper asks, why'd you want to go on the Lady Anne? And Eileen's just like, well, we wanted to spend some more time with each other. And Alan kind of gets up and he's kind of like embarrassed and he goes to get a drink.
She's kind of implying, she's like, well, we haven't really been alone with each other in a long time, in like 6 years, which is like, my husband hasn't had sex with me in 6 years, so it's kind of making Alan very awkward.
So Eileen says, Alan's a very busy man, and when I heard he was going to England on business, I told him I wanted to go. And I chose to go on the Lady Anne so we could spend more time together. Gladys Cooper says Toby and I went on this ship for our honeymoon, and that is when Cecil Calloway comes, Burgess here, and he introduces himself, sits down at the table. They start talking about how special the boat is. It existed pretty much 4 honeymoons for young people back in the day. Alan comes back. The old people go on about how the boat is all about love, how love needs theatrics, that it's exactly what the Lady Anne transfigures. But the shipping company turned the Lady Anne into an enchanted gondola. Then Gladys Cooper says, I feel sticky, giggity, which is a pretty good one.
You're getting all sticky, my wife. I feel sticky.
Then Burgess goes on about telling Eileen who all the couples on the ship are. Pretty much all of them are married there, or some of them are widowers, including himself.
It's weird. There's a lot of widowers, but not a lot of widows on the boat.
Eileen kind of starts crying. And Burgess is like, don't worry about it. Don't cry. Come on. Please don't cry. My wife and I will be together soon.
Yeah, he says that very ominously. Again, something that, like, kind of comes off as creepy because, yeah, he's like, we'll be together, ... soon.
Gladys Cooper's just like, you're never alone when you're in love anyway. You are in love, aren't you? Now, of course we are. Burgess says, why don't you go outside and get some fresh air? It'll be good for you. The Ransoms leave. Next shot, they're out on the poop deck. Alan offers Eileen a cigarette, and for the first time, she doesn't accept it. You notice that was kind of weird? It's kind of like in The Big Lebowski, the only time that Steve Buscemi doesn't get a strike, that's when he dies.
I didn't really draw the connection between The Big Lebowski and this, but I did certainly notice that this was the first time that she didn't really accept it, kind of like a symbolism of that their love is kind of broken at this point.
Right.
And then I think it's at this point that Alan starts to notice, hey, the sun's behind us, and well, that means we're heading north. And then Eileen's like, what, is that my fault too?
I feel like every couple has been in that fucking situation. It sucks.
And then he's like, no, I was just pointing out that we're supposed to be heading east when this boat is clearly headed north.
Right. And then it kind of zooms in on Alan, and he's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this crazy boat. And then he looks to his right, and Eileen is gone. This is where it kind of loses me. I typically like the ambiguity and stuff, but like, what happened to her?
The magic of the boat caused her to disappear so that he could realize how important she was to him.
Kinda. In an episode that has so much time to like make them fall back in love, kind of like a Parent Trap type of thing, like it doesn't do that. It just doesn't feel justified when they get back together.
No, I think it does. We get enough time of Alan freaking out, being alone, of like, where's my wife? Where's my wife?
Looks around for like 20 minutes and I'm just going to go to the bar and drink.
No, it's not. I did think it was weird that he's deciding to drink instead of continuing to search for his wife that he thinks is missing. But he does wander around for presumably more than 20 minutes. It's just that we only see we kind of see a condensed version of it because it's implied that he already talked to the cabin crew and a couple other people on the boat. So that's all implied that we just don't physically see.
Did you notice the weird still shot when he goes into the bedroom?
Yes. What was up with that? I don't get why they do
this bedroom.
Why they do still shots when they're not necessary.
It happens quite a bit in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, like with the hotel reel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so at this point, he's freaking out. He doesn't know where his wife is. He keeps looking into the ocean, too, presumably thinking that maybe she fell off.
Most likely, especially if she disappeared that quickly. Except you would have heard a splash, I think.
You would have heard a... Ah!
Unless she was, like, planning on ulterior motives.
Could have planned this so I can just jump off this boat and off myself?
Well, obviously, maybe in the moment, she could have been like, fuck it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he's wandering all around asking everyone where she is when he ends up seeing Mr. Mackenzie.
Yep.
And Mr. Mackenzie's like, calm down. I'm sure the boat has its secrets. She'll turn up soon enough. Let's go get a drink, which, again, so funny that he's like, I'm going to just give up looking and just drink, I guess.
And when they're in the bar, Burgess is like, let's make a toast to the Lady Anne. They chuck their glasses in the fireplace, which is that supposed to be like is that something people actually do, or is that just like a...
I think that's not something you would normally do. I think it's because they know that the ship's going down. Like, there's no point in saving the nice, fine glassware. And he's drunk.
True. Mr. Mackenzie's just like, it's a pity what's going to happen. And then Burge is like, it's not a pity. It's a crime. He's fucking hammered. And he goes on this speech, and it is really good. I feel bad because every generation obviously thinks that the next generation's fucking it up. And it kind of is true. But I feel really bad for him, like in this one. I'll play some of it, but I really enjoy his, like, the monsters are at the gate and we're too old to fight them. Like, you kind of feel for him. I really enjoyed this speech.
That's just it. People aren't in their right minds anymore. They sacrifice leisure for speed. And speed's the only thing that matters. Come, quick, hurry, faster, get it over with. Why? Why the rush? A plot, obviously of communistic origin. They're going to condemn the Lady Anne because she represents a way of life, the old way. She has grace, manners, tradition. And now they're going to scrap her. Nothing is sacred anymore. The beasts are at the gates, but we're too old to fight them. So we have to stand around like a lot of pathetic statues with our medals tarnished and our swords broken, while the Vandals turn our castles into sideshows and stick up nasty little advertisements for soap all along the roadside.
Very heartfelt and well-put, eloquent little speech there he gives.
That's definitely my favorite moment of this. Then he kind of sombers off, and Toby says, poor old boy, can't blame him, though. He planned on doing this trip with his wife, which you do feel bad for him. And they decide that they're going to have the party tomorrow night instead when Burgess feels a little bit better. Alan goes off to his room, and wouldn't you know it, apparently Eileen's been in there the whole time. And this is kind of creepy. It's like something like happened to her, like she's like in a trance or something. Hello, Alan. And it's really weird because it's implied that they're going to obviously bang. And he's like, where'd you get that? It was Millie's. She wore it on her. Like, so that probably has like Toby's jizz on it from there, honey. That's fucking weird.
I think it's cool. I would love to see a rewrite of this episode from the perspective of Millie where we see her disappear, and maybe from
obviously she met up with Gladys.
From her perspective, it seems like maybe Alan disappeared from her point of view.
True.
And then she has her own little adventure with Millie, and then like Millie gives her the dress, and like this whole extra like story, like this other subplot that we're not seeing. I think that'd be really fun to like kind of, if this episode was ever remade, be cool to kind of see the opposite view.
That's true. Alan kind of sees the error of his ways, and it doesn't really feel earned, but I guess it's all right.
I think it's definitely earned, because we had enough time of him realizing that she's gone and how scared he is that she was gone, and then he gets to listen to the whole speech by Burge about, like, rush, and he kind of takes that to heart, and then seeing her there in the room and realizing how important she was, I think there's a big culmination there. I think it's very earned.
He goes to the window and throws his watch out, obviously symbolizing that
symbolism.
He will now take the time. Next shot, the Mackenzies are on the deck, And Millie's like, these are your old love letters you used to write me. Don't need them anymore. Chucks them. They both smile and walk off. Throw them into the ocean. Pretty cool shot of them going into the ocean. It's hard to get something like that. Remember, like, we were trying to get, like, a newspaper to flow in the wind shot one time and just wasn't fucking happening. To get paper to actually do something like that, I wonder how many letters they had to throw in the ocean to get that to work.
Yeah, maybe they got on the first time. They got lucky.
Quite possibly. Next shot, it's party time. The Ransoms are showing up. They finally meet the captain. Everybody seems to be in a good mood.
And the captain asks them, well, I suppose you guys have packed your things already. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right? He's like, you guys haven't told them yet? And Cecil and Toby and all of them are like, no, we haven't really told them yet. And he's like, well, I gotta get going. I'll be back very shortly.
And then it's at that point, soon after, that they kind of, or at least Alan notices that the boat has stopped.
But they go do a quick dance for some reason.
I mean, it's a party. They're supposed to be having fun, enjoying their last few moments before they know it's their last few.
So they get back from dancing. It's revealed to them, you got to get off this boat. They pull a gun on him. He's like, you got to leave.
Yeah,
no time to explain.
They're like, your luggage is packed. What are you talking about? You guys got to go. Here's this gun. Leave.
Well, it is. It is, isn't it? I mean, you don't just put passengers off a ship in mid-ocean. He's kidding, isn't he?
Follow the captain, please.
We'll come along with you. A bit of the way, anyhow. Better bring your coat, Millie. My boy, you mustn't worry too much. Your exact position's been radioed. Even now, help's on the way.
Doesn't the captain remind you of Vincent Price?
A little bit, the mustache.
Yeah, and the hair. What kind of look?
They put him on their little lifeboat, and they're like, don't worry, everything's there. I even got some champagne for you, so you're all right. Like, they says something about an automatic signals there, which I don't think they had devices like that in 1963, but...
I mean, I know that they must have some sort of way of, like, giving an exact position, and they radioed it far enough in advance where, like, they're probably only going to be out there for an hour or two.
And Alan's like, what's going on? I thought you liked us. And then you kind of get some good music, and Eileen kind of looks at the old people. They're all kind of smiling. He goes, they do like us. I think it's like, that's why they're doing this.
They're
like
doing
us.
this because they don't want us to go on their suicide mission with them.
Right. The Ransoms get in the lifeboat, and it's lowered down into the ocean. Alan detaches it, and Millie from up top there is like, warm up, put some stuff on. And all the old people are like, goodbye, see ya, Wiedersehen. And then they kind of fade off into the distance, and Alan's like, are you cold? Eileen's like, I've never felt so warm in my entire life. And Rod takes us out.
The Lady Anne never reached port. After they were picked up by a cutter a few hours later, as Captain Prothero had promised, the Ransoms searched the newspapers for news, but there wasn't any news. The Lady Anne, with all her crew and all her passengers, vanished without a trace. But the Ransoms knew what had happened. They knew that the ship had sailed off to a better port, a place called the Twilight Zone.
And that's our episode. Tyler, what'd you learn?
If someone offers you $10,000 for your ticket, take it.
For sure. We'll get right into ratings. IMDb currently has this at a 7.3 out of 10. Do you think we're going to be closer? No. I think you might like this a little more than I do.
I think I like this more than you, yeah.
All right. I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. The length obviously kind of hinders it, I think. And I just don't feel like Alan really learned his lesson, and the love was like, I don't know, something about that. I feel like as soon as they get back to England or wherever they get to, it's just going to be back to the same thing.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to give this an 8. I thought it was really good, clear and great message, heartwarming yet spooky with an air of mystery and suspension. So that was really cool. Only thing I didn't really like was that the ending was a little vague when they're like, we don't have time to explain. Like, you have a little bit of time to explain. Like, you could at least...
a little bit
of time. Like, you guys could at least tell us, all right, is this like you guys all killing yourselves, or...
You just really want to know how they do it? You think they're just going to go and, like, sink it? And, like, go down like the Titanic?
I mean, presumably they're trying to sink it in a suicide mission based off of the context, but there's still the possibility that maybe they're just trying to sail around the world.
They'd run out of fuel.
I don't know. And that's, if they just gave me that little bit
more... I want to
more...
see the shot of them actually, like, sinking it, and fucking old people in wheelchairs going, fuck, we fucked up really bad, this is a terrible idea.
Like, do you think they're going to, like, blow up the steam room or whatever down in the bowels of the ship? And
maybe. There's got to be some way to dredge it.
Or do you think they're intentionally trying to, like, run into an iceberg?
Something like that, maybe.
I feel like the iceberg
said they were heading north.
Yeah.
frozen old people up there.
Terrible.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have Gladys Cooper. She played Millie. She was in 3 Twilight Zone episodes. She was in Passage on the Lady Anne, Nothing in the Dark, and Night Call. What was your favorite of the 3 of hers? I know we haven't done Nothing in the Dark yet, but I think Nothing in the Dark's my favorite.
I really liked this episode. I definitely liked this one more than Night Call, and it's been a long time since I watched Nothing in the Dark. Plus, you ruined the ending for me. Like I didn't get the enjoyment of realizing that it was death outside the window. You're just like, oh, you should watch this episode. The twist is this. I'm like, well, now when I watch it, it's not going to be as twisty.
It's still a very good episode. But she was also in My Fair Lady, Rebecca. She has 76 credits from 1913 to 1971, and she was quite the bombshell when she was a younger woman. Then we have Cecil Calloway. He played Burgess. He was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, this and Elegy. Again, I think I like Elegy a little bit more. He was in 3 Studio Ones, 1 Playhouse 90, 1 Studio One, lots of movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Then we have Lee Phillips. He played Alan. He was actually more of a director. He directed 2 episodes of MASH, 7 episodes of The Waltons, 3 episodes of The Partridge Family, 60 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, 1 episode of Gomer Pyle.
Pyle?
Shazam! And he acted in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, like you had mentioned earlier, and we've completed his resume now. He was in Queen of the Nile.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay. I knew he was in something.
Then we have Joyce Van Patten. She played Eileen. She is still alive today. And this, have you ever seen Grown Ups?
Yes.
She plays Rob Schneider's old lady.
Yep.
Or his girlfriend that's an older lady.
Interesting.
So I thought that was pretty funny. She was in the movie Marley and Me. She was in Bad News Bears, the 1976 one. She was in 1 episode of Boardwalk Empire as well. So hopefully she is still doing well because she's a very good actress in this. Cyril Devolante, he played the officer. He was in 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone, and we have finally completed his resume. He was in A Penny for Your Thoughts, The Silence, A Piano in the House, and Passage on the Lady Anne, which I believe he pretty much plays a butler or some sort of servant even. I mean, in the bank one he doesn't. But
So yeah, other than the bank one, he definitely, I mean, even he plays a very submissive person even in that one too. So he's typecast for sure.
So a little bit of trivia on this one. Because of the large number of cast members, this is actually one of the only episodes of The Twilight Zone at the end that it does a scrolling credits instead of individual frames, because there is a lot of people and a lot of bigger names in this episode. This was the last episode to be fully written by Charles Beaumont before he started going downhill from Alzheimer's at the age of 35, which is fucking terrifying.
Very scary.
In the short story, the couple is in love and they're on their honeymoon, which I think would have worked better.
No, I think this works better as a means for them to kind of
reconcile.
Yeah, because it's a boat about love, and I mean it's essentially the TV show The Love Boat.
And in real life, Gladys Cooper was 15 years older than the guy playing her husband, Toby, there.
Huh.
Yeah. In total, this episode cost $88,169. The director received $2,750. That might be up there for some of the most money that the director has received. And the cast received $13,803, which makes sense with the caliber and the amount of actors in this episode.
So, did we not have any sex fiends in this episode?
I was looking all over it. I could not find. I looked up like the top like 12 billings,
especially where they mention orgies and people feeling sticky. I just thought this would be the perfect sex fiend episode.
It would have been, but to no avail.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in a name, Mr. Benedict? Really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episodes we are watching, and I have 5.
I have 6.
Go for it.
All right, I'll start with one of my debacles. I have the Departure debacle.
Damn it, that was one of mine, but I also had the Denture debacle.
My other debacle is the Death Pact debacle.
I have Ghost Ship.
I have Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
To Love Young and Old.
The Sea of Love.
And Sail Away.
The Love Boat. And my last one, Last Chance for Romance.
All right, what about Switcheroos? I have 5.
I have 4.
All right, go for it then.
I have What You Need.
I don't. I have Elegy.
I have Death Ship.
Yep, I have Death Ship. I have Kick the Can.
I have the 30 Fathom Grave.
I have The Whole Truth.
And my last one, slight change. I have The Last Cruise.
And I have A Quality of Mercy.
Yeah. You are now about to penetrate the Twilight Zone.
So every now and again, if we have a worthy porno parody title name, we will do so. This one's kind of an easy one, but I have Orgy on the Lady Anne.
Yeah. All right, so no direct references this week, unfortunately, but there are some sort of spiritual predecessors. Starting us off, we have 1992 Star Trek The Next Generation episode called Relics, where an aging hero, Scotty, is reunited with a world that has moved on, and an obsolete vessel, the USS Genelon, becomes like a floating monument to the past and kind of the emotional spine and dignity and obsolescence. So very similar messages there. And we also have an episode of Mad Men called The Wheel, in which the pitch for Kodak's carousel reframes technology as a vessel for nostalgia, not progress.
I know you just started watching it. That's the last episode of season 1. My God, is that a great episode.
Really good one?
So good.
Nice.
They could have ended with just the first season, and it would have been amazing. That Wheel one, it makes me cry just thinking. It's such a good episode.
Yeah, because that episode sort of mirrors this in the way that, the argument that what's outdated can still be emotionally essential. And then we also have James Cameron's 1997 Titanic, obviously film kind of echoes Lady Anne's portrayal of a luxury ship as a self-contained world frozen in time, populated by people that are clinging to ritual and class and memory as their modern world closes in. There's also Stanley Kubrick's 1980 movie The Shining, where the kind of Overlook Hotel sort of functions as a Lady Anne, like a grand relic that refuses to die, sustained by the ghosts, in this case more literally, of its past occupants.
Why won't you die?
And last but not least, 2014's The Grand Budapest Hotel. Wes Anderson's film kind of feels like a love letter to the passage of the Lady Anne, where it's a fading institution with fiercely loyal inhabitants and a refusal to accept that elegance and ritual are obsolete.
You don't like Wes Anderson, do you?
I don't. I hate his movies.
Really? Yeah. Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is so good.
Everything's very, the color's too poppy and unrealistic, and
it's nice
things are too symmetrical. It's very artsy and not I want to watch a movie where it seems like it could be real, and his seem very over stylized.
I love the colors that he uses. I love the what is it called when someone's sense of humor is very, or just dry sense of humor of it. I really enjoy, he almost every movie he has, he does the dollhouse effect.
Yeah,
I love that. You didn't Fantastic Mr. Fox?
I've never seen that.
It's good.
He also uses the same actors and everything. Owen Wilson's in every single one of his movies.
Not every single
one. A lot of them.
But a lot of directors do that. Tim Burton does it. A lot of the good ones do. All right. Well, every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. But next week is episode 100. And if you recall, the only episodes I am not in the dark on are every 25. We do a special episode, and I know what the very last episode's going to be. But next week we have a very big one for you for episode 100.
Do you want to see the picture anyway?
Yes.
All right, here it is.
Nightmare at 20,000 feet. What else would we do for our 100th episode?
An all-time classic. I was thinking about it while I was on my plane.
Also, we did something very special. Obviously, every 25 we try and do something pretty unique and cool. Next week, you're definitely going to want to watch on YouTube, because we are going to be live in the flesh. You're actually going to have some video component to next week's episode.
Yes, a big face reveal for us. So if you've been wondering what we look like this whole time, now you'll know.
All right. So please give that one a like and
a watch.
Yes. A little bit of housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page, it would mean the world to us. I see that we have a couple extra or new subscribers. Welcome to the Twilight Gnome family. We hope you're enjoying it. If you could go over, if you're listening to this on Spotify, if you could please give it a 5-star review, because why?
We are a 5-star show.
We sure are. It would mean the world to us. If you could just tell your friends about this, tell your friends.
And then they'll tell 2 friends?
For sure. It would mean the world to us, guys. And we really appreciate you all continuing to listen and leave comments. And if you do want to leave some comments, we will read them out on the air in our message segment, which we're going to do in a few minutes. But we love hearing feedback from you guys, even if it's just a small little thing or a hello. And if you need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. Messages.
You are about to receive a message from the 5th dimension.
All right, so a couple new messages here for us. The first one comes on our top 10 scariest episodes of The Twilight Gnome.
It comes on it?
Yeah, it comes on it. And the message comes from the chess player. Chess player says, "It's a good life, if I were to pick. The difficulty is that fear and the tension of it have many types." So thank you for that comment there. And then we also got another comment on The Fugitive from Professor Hoodoo. And Professor Hoodoo says, "This is awesome."
Thanks, man. You're awesome, too. Hoodoo? You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe. Awesome name. We did forget something, Toila. Every week, Tyler's dropping polls, so make sure you go over to that. It's been a couple weeks because we recorded some a couple weeks ago and have been not really live. But
yeah, well, we've been releasing them as time goes by. But now we're catching up. So 3 weeks ago, I put down a poll about the best place to live in the Twilight Zone. Definitely hands down with 77% of the vote, people wanted to live in Willoughby. I can definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also had the most dull place to live in the Twilight Zone, very neck and neck between the Toy Collection Barrel and the Solitary Confinement Asteroid, but with the Solitary Confinement Asteroid just barely edging out there for the win. And then for the worst place to live in the Twilight Zone, Peaksville, Ohio definitely got the most votes there with 69%. That would definitely be very scary to live there.
It would be terrible, but if you stroked Anthony's ego, you might be able to make out pretty good.
Yeah, but you can't even think bad thoughts. That'd be the hard part. And then our most recent poll just dropped a couple days ago is your favorite Twilight Zone episode about love. So far, it's a tie between The Chaser and Other. If you are going to put Other, please let us know what Other you think it is. Is it perhaps a future episode that we might be doing for Valentine's Day? Is some other episode about love? Let us know.
All right, Ty. Well, my final question actually, I got a little tidbit first. There's only six episodes of season 4 left in our tie to run. Does that kind of make you happy or sad?
Mixed, because they are long. It's a lot harder to take notes on an episode that's double the length, but I've been pleasantly surprised. I was under the impression that season 4 was kind of the stinkeroo of the bunch. I mean, obviously, there have been some bad ones. The Parallel comes to mind.
No.
Yeah. But there's been actually a lot of really good ones that I love.
You gave this one, what, an 8?
I gave this one an 8.
Mute a 9.
Mute a 9.
I think you liked New Exhibit quite a bit.
New Exhibit was really good. Yeah, there's been quite a few good ones so far. So quite enjoying season 4.
All right. My final question. I think the Lady Anne would be a good name. Like if a Twilight Zone fan bought a boat, can you think of any other good names that you would name a boat if you bought one and had to have it Twilight Zone themed?
Yes, I do. I actually have the exact one. It would have to be a fishing boat, and it would be a slight play on words, but it would be called Tide Enough to Cast.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, because it's fishing, but it's also time enough at last.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that'd be cool.
How about that? Comments down if you had a boat and had to name it Twilight Zone theme. I'd like to hear that. Have some funny puns or something like that.
Yeah. What would you put as yours?
I mean, I guess the Lady Anne because it's the only boat one. But I mean, if I had to come up with like a clever one, give me a second here.
You're gonna come up with one that you've been thinking about for a long time. You're like, oh, I just came up with that off the top of my head.
No, I wish. You could name it Death Ship.
Will the real Marlin please stand up?
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good one. Really put me on the spot. I'm sure you.
It was your question. I'm assuming you would have.
Well, I would have just said the Lady Anne. Like if I got a boat, I'd call it the Lady Anne.
Such a lazy way to go about it.
Well, the real Marlin please stand. That's pretty good. I'm trying to think of my favorite episodes.
To serve clam. That could have a sexual reference.
Yep. What about hold on a second.
Nightmare at 20,000 Leagues?
Yeah, quite possibly. All right, I was trying to think of a Hocus Pocus and Frisbee one. There's got to be something you could do in there.
I'm not thinking too hard on these ones. Just let them free flow.
All right. Well, if you guys, I want to hear some funny fishing boat. And it doesn't have to be a fishing boat, just any boat name for a Twilight Zone boat. That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Let's hear some of those. But until then, Ty, do you have anything to say to our dear Nomies out there?
Hope you guys all have an amazing Valentine's Day and find love on your own, Lady Anne.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle's strong. There's time enough for the real Martian to stand up. Next stop, Willoughby, little girl is lost. There's something on the wing, Walter Jameson won't live long. Feel like I'm 5 characters in search of exit. Help, I'm slipping into the twilight known. Luckily on Thursday we leave for home. The chemists came and gave beauty to behold. Where's everybody? Get Axel Tyler on the phone. Now you're listening to the twilight known. Till next Friday night, you won't be alone. Till then, just keep watching your favorite TV show. Take it, Mr. Serling. The Twilight Zone. Listen hard and long. The Twilight known. Listen hard and long. The Twilight known.
Jizz-stained honeymoon dress.
Sure, the dress was on the floor. I don't think. Or it was at least cleaned at some point.
Maybe.
It's been like 50 years.
Fucking A. I have such a hard time. I keep my fucking finger right where the fucking thing is, and I still fucking forget where the fucking thing is.